So there are a bunch of ways to get into business. The cliched one is to come in QA as a tester. I mean, every human is going to tell you that. And they're going to tell you that because it's a little bit less true now than it used to be, but it's still kind of true. Back in the day, there's a guy, Harvey Smith, who's now running an Arcane studio, who was my lead tester on System Shock. I would spend, back then we used to work until 2 and 3 in the morning, and I would go down to QA and I would talk to him about the game, what was working, what wasn't, what games he liked, how they worked, and I got to know his design sensibility, and so I knew his design philosophy would match mine. There's a particular kind of game that I make, and then I'm going to make it until I can't make it anymore, at which point I'll retire. And he wanted to make that kind of game, so I brought him into my group, and now he's running his own studio and doing better than I am. There's another guy, Marshall Andrews, who I pulled out of QA to work on Deus Ex. I could go on. QA is still to this day, I could give you more recent examples. In fact, that other side, one of our testers just moved into design last month. So that's still a pretty good way to get to know the developers, so they know you, get your foot in the door. So that's pretty good. Another way is to go to school, obviously. You can get a CS degree or a fine arts degree, and that will help you. A couple of things, though, especially if you're a designer, you need to get as broad-based an education as you can. If all you do is study computer science, you're not going to get a job with me. I mean, the quickest and the quickest way not to get a job with me is to, when I ask you, what do you do in your free time? If you say, I play games, I say goodbye. Because I'm looking for people who can bring more to the table than just, I play games, so I'm going to make other games like the games I play. But when you're in school, you do not know what you're going to need to know. I guarantee it, especially if you're a designer, but no matter what you are. I mean, that guy likes Django Reinhardt and musicals, and I love that. I'm sorry I keep pointing at you, Joe. Talk to him if you want to be an engineer. No, so how does a World War I biplane fly? How does a medieval castle work? Name some conspiracies and what they believe. I could go on and on. You don't know what you're going to need to know, so don't neglect the humanities. Don't neglect economics, behavioral psychology. Don't neglect your communication skills. All of those will stand you in good stead. Graduate from a dedicated game development program. Make sure it's a good one. Lots of them are taught by people who either have never made a game or haven't made a game in 15 years. Try and find a place, I know this is easy to say and hard to do, find a place where there are real working or recently working teachers, okay? Because the industry changes I say every 3 years, it's probably more frequent than that. But graduate from a good school. My art director on my last project graduated from Full Sail. One of the 3 best design leads I've ever worked with on several projects graduated from Digital. So going through school can be a good avenue. The other thing is, and this is true, students and people who don't want to go or don't go to school, finish something. Don't show me work in progress. Everybody can show work in progress. Students and even indies who want to make the leap, which is another way to do it, show me unfinished work. I need to know that you can actually finish something. It could be a D&D world. It doesn't have to be digital necessarily. But show me something finished. There was one guy, this goes back a ways, but it's still true. At Origin, we were looking for an engineer. We called them programmers back then. I don't know when you guys became engineers. But he was applying for a job on the Ultima team, Ultima 6, and he came in and said, he gave me a disc. He said, this is my version of Ultima 4. I reverse engineered it. And we played it, and he had reverse engineered one of our games without knowing anything about the game. We hired him. So show me something finished, and I'll stop there. That's pretty much the range of ways I think